Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Mokono Man at YouTube with another product review from the Scale Modeler Supply SMS Liquid Mask. This is a latex mixed with a pigment designed to sit on top of paints. Harden, you paint over it and lift it to get all sorts of interesting shapes. Very similar to the stuff by Vallejo and Mr. Sol Liquid Mask. So it works very easy. You shake it and stir it. Make sure it's very well mixed. Putting a ball bearing in it does help. Stirring it with a stick also does the trick, or the brush that already comes in there to make sure it's very well mixed, or otherwise it's going to stick too well to the model. So give that about a couple of minutes to shake. Now this product does have one downfall, which isn't too bad and you can easily get over it. When you apply it, it looks just like the hardened version, and it does take a while and it has a bit of odour to dry. Mind you, once you layer it, it becomes quite thick. It's not too tacky and it's quite easy to remove. So make sure you free it up by rubbing it up. Get a blue tack and it just absolutely pops off. You just need to loosen it up a bit without damaging your paintwork. This can take a little while, but if you're careful, shouldn't be a problem at all. So what we're going to do is apply camouflage stripes across this tank. So I'll hold it by the back wheels, and using the brush that already comes with, we just paint it in a way that we find that's desirable. And make sure that we have really good coverage. It will initially come out transparent, and this process will take a little while, but we're meant to build up with layers. So we're going to paint our stripe. Now ideally, to get the best results, when you've painted, paint in lacquers, especially the SMS lacquer range. Put a top coat over it, SMS clear or an acrylic, that doesn't matter too much. And then, once that's had a full chance to dry and harden, give it a few days, apply this product, do multiple layers, 2, 3, not too hard. Allow this to dry. It skins very, very quickly, though it doesn't harden solidly for many, many hours. Let it to harden. Airbrush your next coat over it, nice and thin. Once your top coat is fully dry, then you can attempt to remove it. So this is all the parts applied with the mask. Areas have been coated 2 to 3 times to make it as thick as possible for easy removal. When it's really thin, it's just hard to get through the paint, especially if you paint thickly, and to even find out where the mask is. It still looks vibrant yellow, so it's hard to tell if it's been just applied or it's well hardened. I've left it for a day. It's got a tacky rubber feel to it. So the paint is completely dry on it, and we're able to remove the mask. I could tell due to how finely I've been painting that the mask is of a different colour, quite light, because I paint on dark surfaces. That is actually a great advantage, as well as it is bulging out. It's a bit hard to remove, though you just keep rubbing, and it eventually removes. Pressing a blue tack on it also helps, and then all you have to do is just keep rubbing the pieces and the components up against the grain until all the mask comes off. This could take a while, but if it's layered, it should all come off pretty easily. It is more time consuming, but it's more for a guaranteed mask job. So I was a bit skeptical at first, but I'm actually pretty impressed and happy with that, and it's reacting very well to lacquer paint. So the mask lifted. It took a fair amount of time. At a few points I did have to cut through the mask with a knife so I could get a flap and then peel. Peeling it's not too bad. Removing remnants with blue tack's not too bad. It's just very tough, very time consuming. Don't get bogged down in details such as damaging your paint scheme just because you're impatient. Take it very, very slowly. Nonetheless, the mask works. It works very well, and I've got this lovely hard edge scheme. I did chuck a clear coat and a bit of black shading on top since. Now I've got a bare plastic surface just after stripping the paint. This is Tamiya acrylic. This is Vallejo water-based acrylic. I'm going to put a line across it. I'm going to allow it to dry. 3 coats, lift, no primer, no top coat, and I just want to know how it reacts with a paint with a weaker bond. So, no drama, nothing special. Let's see how it goes. So we're on the acrylic base, and we'll rub it off, and believe it or not, it's not taking the paint up with it, because it does stick, and it sticks to edges and little bits of detail and whatnot, which is terrible. On smooth surfaces it's great. The alcohol acrylic is fine. Vallejo, not happy at all. It's completely removed the Vallejo. So your polyurethane based paints, which doesn't actually stick to anything well at all. It's flaking off all completely without primer, and even with primer it's still troublesome. Your acrylics, your enamels, your lacquers, all fine. Polyurethanes, water-based, no, cannot do. And that concludes my SMS liquid mask review. It is not bad. It is great on flat surfaces. If you're doing your Gundam kits, your master grades and whatnot, large figures, resin, not a problem at all. Absolutely great. Masking small detailed things, your aircraft, your 70-second tanks, it's possible, but it's a really big challenge. Probably not overly advisable, but for your smooth surfaces, great. I'm thinking eyes for your resin kits, camouflage, covering different parts where there's an armor join, yet no color separation. For best use of this product, I recommend that you spray down your base coat on top of a primed surface, that your kit is cleaned, prepped, surfaced. Allow that the full time to completely harden and chemically dry. Dry to the touch. For your lacquers, a day or so. Enamels, a few days. Same with acrylics. Put a top coat, an acrylic gloss top coat is normally quite good. Your Future Floor Polish, Tamiya, or a lacquer gloss top coat. This is in case anything goes wrong, and it's going to lift a layer of paint. It's going to lift a layer of clear paint, not solid paint. So that's an advantage. Allow that to fully harden. Apply your liquid mask. Do it in about 3 coats, so it's visibly elevated. Do all your painting via airbrushing, and you should actually see the raised bump there is. Once you've broken into the mask, however way you can start peeling it like you've seen on my acrylic test. It just peels away easily. On details like this tank, you're going to have to hack away at every panel where there's a small amount of detail. That all aside, I say it's excellent. It handles and works completely different to any other liquid mask I've used on the market. It has advantages and disadvantages. I think it's absolutely sound for mecha modelling, and I do definitely throw my full recommendation behind it. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. Facebook, I update photos, events, and interesting stuff on a very regular basis. Link down below. Twitch, we're going to be doing live streaming, and Patreon just as a tip jar. Catch you guys later, and thank you for your support. I do answer interactive comments. Have a good one. See ya.